Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, the home of total non-stop reviews. We are back with more wrestling. You want more content, you want more reviews. Well, god damn it, you've got it, and you've got it in the form of TNA Impact. TNA debuted the first episode of Impact on June 4th, 2004, and that is where we'll be starting our reviews. We'll go from 2004 up until we decide we don't like it no more. So yeah, obviously TNA, NWA, it was the thing. It was the company in the early 2000s where if you couldn't get a job in WWE or if you had a criminal record, you kind of just went to NWA. There was a lot of drunks. There was a lot of people that were blackballed in the WWE that ended up here. But you can tell by 2004, you do feel like they're trying to get a little bit more professional. Maybe one day challenge the WWE. You know, they're not quite on Spike TV yet, but we can see the signs that TNA, they're trying to grow. You know, they've been under the NWA moniker, but now the fact that they're branching out, they've got their own show, they've got a brand name show, just like Raw, just like SmackDown. I'm not saying this is when TNA begins to get great, but I do feel like this was a big important step in TNA progressing to what it eventually did, which in the end turned out not to be much, but you know, for a few years they were thriving. The
seed was planted tonight on the 4th of June 2004.
The seed was planted, but unfortunately Bischoff and Hogan came in and forgot to water it.
But guess what, guys? Vince Russo's the guy that planted that seed. He whipped out the sunflower seeds. He put his hoe into the deck.
Bro, let me tell you something, bro. Anyway, we'll tell you this. So we're going to be reviewing TNA. Now, apparently they did have weekly pay-per-views as well. Now, I wasn't buying these pay-per-views in 2004. So I'm not sure what the financial structure was, or what the subscription service or the payment fee. But I can't imagine if it's a weekly pay-per-view. I can't imagine they were charging that much. I can't imagine for 1 second it was $19.99 a month. I mean, or a week even.
Maybe it was on like a subscription,
like a program. Sky Sports, or if you're paying for.
Yeah, or a Fox Sports or whatever.
Pay-per-view. The pay-per-view is supposed to be you pay to view it.
I get that, but at the same time, if something's happening every week, it's not a pay-per-view.
Do you think they just called it the pay-per-view just to try and make it feel bigger?
Well, that's what they do these days, isn't it? What are they called? The wee shows that they do on Impact? Oh, it's the real pay-per-view, brother.
Yeah, anyway, right, enough burying TNA. We're actually here to put it over, so...
This is WCW Light, though. It's
It does look like WCW Light, but look, we've always said on this channel that TNA had some of the greatest moments in wrestling, and while nobody would say it's the greatest company ever, I don't even know if people would put it in their top 5. Personally, I would put it in my top 5. I think it's produced a lot of good moments, but that's all we've really seen from TNA. We've only really seen moments. Living in the UK, it was always hard to kind of view it. You couldn't really watch TNA, you couldn't follow it, in my opinion, on a weekly basis like you did Raw, SmackDown, even AEW. It's easy to get access to AEW now in the UK, but not so much TNA. It was easy to get access, well, not easy to get access to ECW, but there was ways you could find it. It was pretty much impossible, man. Finding TNA in the UK was like winning the lottery. It's pretty much non-existent, but we've got it now. And by the way, last thing before we get into this debut episode of TNA Impact, I actually bought the Impact Plus, and throughout the entire show, you get WWF ads. And no, I'm not talking about, The Rock coming on and raising his eyebrow. I'm talking about fucking pandas and buffaloes and pigs.
Lions and tigers and giraffes and penguins.
Big elephants. And no, we're not talking dewdrop here. We're talking literal elephants, and they want you to donate £3. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I've already spent $7.99 on this shitty network, and you want me to pay an extra £3 a month on pandas? Then you add in the TNA weekly pay-per-view fees. I mean, come on. This company, I can feel the money grabbing right now.
I can feel it too, and I can feel it, and you can just feel it as soon as the program starts. The Universal logo.
Give us your money. Give it to me.
It's in the brown paper bag, brother. Come on.
Anyway, we might do a brown paper bag special, but review, but we never got one. I guess we could review someone else opening theirs. Anyway, that'd be lame. Let's get into tonight's show then. So it is the 4th of June 2004. Your announcers for tonight are Mike Tenay and Don West, and I believe they will be your announcers for probably the next 5 years. Don West grows on me. You know what? Rest in peace, Don. He definitely grows on me. At the start, I didn't think he was the best thing ever, but you know, he's different. I would say that. There's not many commentators like Don West.
Oh my God, the thumbtacks.
He's a bit unique, so we'll give him some credit. We kick off, though, 6-man tag match. Sanjay Dutt and Amazing Red and Hector Garza defeating... Oh, shit, no, wait. Firstly, Petey Williams, Bobby Roode, Eric Young with Scott D'Amore. So it's Team Canada versus a bunch of guys from the X Division, although Hector Garza did look a lot bigger than the other two, so... Although the X Division doesn't have a weight limit,
5 out of 6 guys, though, dressed in red with a time limit as well, because matches that are non-title get 10 minutes.
The whole red thing pissed me off. Team Canada, they get to wear red, I totally get that, but surely if a team's taking on Team Canada, surely they can change their gear for one match. Just felt weird seeing a bunch of guys, everyone pretty much running around in red.
Yeah, and then you've just Sanjay Dutt in black and gold.
Now, I get it, Amazing Red is called Amazing Red, so maybe he has to have red in this, I don't know, and Hector Garza, I don't know, maybe his favourite colour's red. But when it's Team Canada, and the whole point is, their whole thing is we're Canadians, you know, we're anti-American, I just feel like they should have changed the colour scheme up. But anyway, it was a win for Sanjay Dutt, Amazing Red and Hector Garza. Hector Garza with a big torpedo-like splash off the top rope. Wasn't really expecting him to get the win. Never heard of him, to be honest.
I know it's mad though, people talk about AEW, this just felt like an AEW match, didn't it? It is just similar style.
I mean, I tell you what, this wasn't any worse than an AEW match. At least they're selling in this.
Yeah,
it's high-flying, like, cruiserweight action, but at least they're selling.
No, but that's AEW's made it to be one of a kind, unique.
No, AEW's been done before, but done a lot better.
Exactly.
See, no, honest to God, AEW, I mean, early TNA was AEW, but done with actual people that knew how to wrestle. I'm not saying all these guys are great, but back here, they actually did sell. I highly doubt you will see people, you know, hit 26 consecutive super kicks and nobody go down. You know, it's very unlikely.
Exactly, so, but did the right team win here? What do we make of the countdown?
I'm going to say no. As for the 10-minute count, it just distracts me. I would rather just, alright, have the 10-minute countdown, but don't show us the countdown.
It also kind of reveals to you when the match is going to end.
True. I don't know. I don't really like this whole countdown thing. 10 minutes does seem very short. But then again, I'm not going to complain because I like short matches. I don't think there's no reason for a match to be longer than 10 minutes on a TV unless it's like a title match and once in a while. See now, you watch Raw, every match is 20 minutes.
Team Canada should have won.
I would have gave Team Canada the rub, but nah. I tell you what, if it was Lance Storm, Christian and Test, I think they would have definitely won.
Well, I mean, I think
that's the real Team Canada.
I think so, but give me a shell, yeah. Look at Shark Boy taking on the Monster of
Shark Boy before he was over, but here, I'll tell you what, Mike Tenay said he's super over. Mike Tenay says he was like on mainstream television and stuff like that.
I was on Finding Nemo.
I think he's bullshitting, like, but apparently, Shark Boy in 2004 was a big draw. He had the match with Abyss, and the match pretty much Abyss just wins easy, man. Squash match, but again, no complaints because not every match should be 15 minutes. Abyss then leaves. They talk about how the only person that can control Abyss is Goldilocks, so I don't know if we will see more of this. Obviously, it's our first time watching and we didn't see Gold. Well, actually, we did. We've seen Goldilocks watching on from backstage, and like this wee box pops up in the corner of the screen, and it looks like something I could have made from Sonny Vegas. It's yeah, I feel like in WWE, you know, they would have had a separate camera and they would have cut to her backstage watching on, but at TNA she appears in a little box. It was like,
and I bet you they thought they were the dog's bollocks for that.
Aye, I mean, well, you probably couldn't have done it like.
Well, I couldn't have done it like. But then
Windows movie makers don't have that sort of editing ability. And then after the match, we get Popeye, who apparently is celebrating his 75th anniversary. He comes out and hugs Shark Boy, but maybe if he hugged him before the match and gave him some spinach, Shark Boy might have won this one. Thoughts on that?
He could have, like, but you know what? Abyss is on a roll. Abyss is TNA at this point.
A boots cross the line. Are we going to go Meltzer style and rate these matches at 5 stars? Or?
No, I'll just rate the show.
There you go. Then we move into the tag team title match. It's Chris Harris and James Storm versus Kid Cash and Dallas for the titles. Kid Cash and Dallas are the champions. I'll tell you what I didn't like at this stage. 3 matches back to back, no backstage segments, nothing really to break this up. I thought that was a bit poor.
I mean, I guess it is the first show, but I wouldn't be surprised we don't get much backstage segments throughout this.
Now, I think we did see... Did we not see... Am I lying? Did we not see Vince Russo walk backstage, or was that after?
That was after the next match.
Fair enough. So, Chris Harris and James Storm versus Kid Cash and Dallas. Apparently, Dallas is related to Kid Cash. I'd never even heard of this Dallas guy. Is he a WCW reject?
He looks it.
He does. He looks like a guy that would have been...
He came at the power plant.
He looks like a guy that went down with the ship.
Aye.
He looks like a guy that was in the locker room.
He went down with the ship but couldn't make it to the invasion.
He looks like a guy that was sitting in the locker room when Shane McMahon appeared and went, "I now own WCW."
No, he's just a generic bum.
Yeah.
He's tall. He looks like one half a Chronic.
It's one half a Chronic. Anyway, he lost the match, so him and Kid Cash kind of dominated, but he lost with a roll. Jesus Christ, he lost the titles to a roll up. He went for a big boot. He got his leg caught up in the top rope, and then I believe it was Chris Harris or was it James? One of the two rolled him up and got the 1, 2, 3. And Chris Harris and James Storm are your new tag team champions. Just a very weird way to lose a title. A bloody roll up. Like, I mean, normally that would happen. Maybe an underdog, a massive underdog getting a win, but I mean, surely America's Most Wanted weren't really underdogs here.
No, I wouldn't say they were, but then again, if they're not the tag champs, maybe they are.
And anyway, Chris Harris in this group was feud as the Michaels, and James Storm was feud as the Giannetti. Now we all know how it turns out. James Storm still currently wrestling, and I don't think we've seen Chris Harris since 2008 ECW. So
that kind of tells you all you need to know about Giannetti.
He probably went on a night out with Sandman, Dreamer, and Sabu, and
didn't come back.
Ended up at the hospital.
Dropped off Sandman at the hospital, did.
Oh, what a story, man. You'd love to see that. Imagine getting to watch that instead of current wrestling. That'd be brilliant. I'd take it.
Dusty Rhodes, though, is making his way backstage. Always sees feet, though.
Yeah, we just see feet, but it kind of looks like cowboy leather sandals, and you could tell that the strain on the legs were pretty, there was a big bodied person here.
It was either going to be Dusty Rhodes or Alvarez. Big Marcus Alvarez with his cowboy boots.
I don't think Alvarez is that fat, is he?
Oh no, but I was talking about boots, I wasn't talking about weight, but I know what you mean. The weight distribution, man, he was done.
But he did make it to the ring eventually, so he gets down there, he gets in the ring, he's talking with Mike Tenay. But before he can really do anything, Jeff Jarrett comes out. Jeff Jarrett says he respected Dusty Rhodes when he was 15, but that was 20 years ago. Jarrett says that he's given Dusty Rhodes a chance to get out of town before he runs him out of town, and then he made some comparison to how Dusty Rhodes is like the old outlaw gunslinger, and Jeff Jarrett's like the local villain. But the way Jeff Jarrett worded it made it sound like Dusty Rhodes is the big draw, and Jeff Jarrett's like the peasant.
Yeah.
No, but he's building up Dusty. He's saying, "Hey, Dusty, you're the outlaw. You're the old, you're the gunslinger, and I'm the local villain." The local villain sounds like some guy that would be wiped out like that.
I know.
Do you agree? Or?
No, I do agree, but again, it's just what he was going for here. It just seemed like it took him about 10 minutes to get to it.
I know. I'm going to stick up for Jeff Jarrett here. I think the guy's underrated. I actually like him. I don't think he done himself any favours by basically turning himself into TNA's version of Triple H, and I think that's why he gets a lot of criticism. But I think Jeff Jarrett is good.
Yes, of course he is.
And I tell you what, see if he can still go in 2023, I'd stick the belt on him.
Same.
I would.
But guess what? He counts to 5. Dusty Rhodes follows him, starts slapping air with his hair.
Yeah, so he says he got to 5. He says, "I'm going to do 5 paces," and like, "No, 5 struts." So, and he said, "When I turn around, you better be gone." So Jeff Jarrett's doing the struts, like the down, he's strutting, and then like you've got Dusty Rhodes sneaking up behind him like a stealth. like he's Metal Gear Solid or something, Solid Snake. Jeff Jarrett then gets to 5, he's like, you better be gone, Dusty. Turns around, and I kid you not, Dusty Rhodes starts like slapping him in the face with his cowboy hat, and Jeff Jarrett's having to sell this. It was weird.
It was awful.
But then Dusty Rhodes starts hitting him with legit punches, and that's the moment Jeff Jarrett turns it around. So it's like Jeff Jarrett's getting slapped with the cowboy hat, and he's defensive, man. He's getting barred. But as soon as Dusty starts throwing strikes,
The actual punches.
that's when Jeff Jarrett finds something, kicks him to the midsection, and starts hitting fists of his own. And then Ron Killens comes out, or you might know him as R-Truth, tries to make the save, goes for like a spinning jump. First he does the spinning elbow thing that completely misses, but Jeff Jarrett pretends that it hits him. Then he goes for like the jumping side kick, and Jeff Jarrett moves out the way, and R-Truth, Ron Killens, lands on the top rope, but the spring on these TNA ropes, man, what the fuck? He literally landed on
He bounced off it and flew off like it was electrified.
It was like a trampoline or something, man. And then he gets up and Jeff Jarrett cracks him with a guitar. And then Jeff Jarrett bolts because bloody the old outlaw gunslinger Dusty Rhodes was trying to get Jeff Jarrett. So hold on here. Ron Killens comes out to try and make the save. Literally bounces off the top rope, does a 360, lands in his ass, gets up, gets smacked over the guitar, and then the guy that Ron Killens, the old gunslinger that Ron Killens came out to save, had to save him. He ran the local villain, Jeff Jarrett, out of the town, out of the ring. Thoughts on that?
It's fucking embarrassing, it is. I mean,
I liked it, but it was a bit...
Why are they making Dusty Rhodes so, he can't walk?
I tell you what, this segment was better than anything I've seen in AEW.
It was a mess. Everything about it was a mess. It was still good.
But it was kind of funny, so yeah, probably the first guitar shot of many.
I'm sure he's dished out a few.
See for the year over under, what would you be betting on here? I'd say Jeff Jarrett must, for a year, I'd say at least 20.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say.
Easy.
You count in these weekly pay-per-views as well, and it's...
Could be 50.
Anyway, we get the ex-contender 4-way up next, but before we do that, we have...
Vince Russo!
Hey, bro. So, who's in it? I believe it's Shane Douglas interviewing him.
Yeah.
The franchise, Shane Douglas, a guy that I always thought was overrated, to be honest.
What happened? Did he get a career-ending injury? Because he just stopped?
Pretty sure he was...
In fact, he's not even that old.
But he was wrestling in TNA, wasn't he? In 2002, 2003, no?
Was he?
I think he was. Anyway, he asked Vince Russo who's the fourth guy. We know 3 of them, but who's the 4th guy in this fatal 4-way NXT contenders, number 1 contenders, 4-way, whatever. It's Shane, the cousin, I believe, or the nephew of Shawn Michaels, Alex Skipper, and Chris Sabin. They want to know who the 4th guy is. Vince Russo's like, hey, bro, I know who the 4th guy is. You'll find out who the 4th guy is. And then he walks off.
You have to pay another $7.99.
This reminded me of like a Hulk Hogan 2011 kind of TNA promo. I know who the secret man is. Eric knows who the secret man is. And all you Hulkamaniacs will find out who the secret man is. Next week on Impact.
That's what's mad though. In WCW, a couple of years before, they made Russo as a main offender, literally. But in terms of the world of wrestling, he was like a bum in terms of wrestling, you know what I mean? Obviously, he's the writer.
Former world champion, mate.
But you know what I mean? Anyone who was in his role of a wrestler went in WWE, they'd be portrayed as Sting, Goldberg, Hogan, Nash. But if he returned to WWE, he's just the writer. He's cutting his promo backstage like he was doing Hulkamania for 20 years.
Yeah, but how can you see? Let's be real. See if you're acknowledging that he is the writer or the booker. How can you have him as an on-screen personality and protect kayfabe wrestling?
Exactly, you can't.
See, he comes out and you're like, oh, there's the head writer, Vince Russo. People are like, what do you mean head writer? You mean this shit's written? It's fake?
I know.
So, see, I'm not saying you can't use Vince Russo as a cat. Of course, he could be a GM, he could be a manager, he could just be a pain in the ass that pops up sometimes, but you can't acknowledge him as...
when Clay met Otto and Jail, he didn't go, you write this show, don't you, bro?
Hi, we're going to meet the head writer of Sons of Anarchy. You know what I mean? Kurt Sutter. No, we don't do that, so... But I'm pretty sure WCW mentioned him once as the head writer, no?
No, they did. I think they did all the time.
But that's lame.
That's WCW for you.
Anyway, right, we get the Fatal 4-Way match, and the secret man is the phenomenal AJ Styles. He comes out with the whole I am, and I mean, he comes out with his attire here, and I don't know, it's like, it's your first time you're seeing him, I guess. Well, first time we're seeing him, really. But from a character standpoint, like, I'm not saying he's developed at this stage, but he does look different to these other three. Something about him. Then when he gets in the ring, like some of the moves he's pulling off, like the whole springboard 360 into the DDT thing, man. The crispiest moves. I mean, people talk about the Young Bucks in AEW. I mean, nobody in AEW does this style of wrestling better than AJ Styles does it.
Absolutely not.
I don't think I've never seen anyone as good as AJ Styles. When AJ Styles was like, in the 2000s.
No, he's phenomenal.
Pun intended.
Exactly.
And he wins this match with about 4 minutes to go. And I was thinking, like, they were on about, we're closing down. Who's the judge going to pick? I mean, it would be awkward with the four people. If the countdown got to 0, did the four just stand in the ring and then the judge comes in? And
but you know what's weird though? It's like he's so much better than all these guys. It's like, how is it even believable he's in this fucking division? This should be the guy feuding with Jarrett.
I'm pretty sure he has had multiple feuds, like probably get multiple more.
No, but I'm saying he shouldn't really go back down to the X Division, even though he would.
Well, they mentioned the fact that he's a former champ, former X Division champ, former tag champ, and he's gone back down to his roots. They even mentioned that on commentary.
Well, I know, I remember that, but again, it's like, it's so obvious he's going to win.
I kind of like the way they mentioned that he's gone back down to his roots, so they kind of made it look as if,
it's him.
He's above this, but he wants to win this title again.
He wants to hoover the belt off fucking Frankie Kazarian.
Maybe it's like a nostalgia thing. Yeah, it's the first belt he won. He wants to.
But that's pretty much it for this Impact.
But I tell you, what I will say about TNA is, like, the X Division belt was treated like a separate category. I don't think it was treated. You know the way the IC belt was clearly the belt below the world title. TNA didn't really do that. The X Division was like treated as if, I wouldn't say on par with the world title, but you know what I mean. It wasn't treated like a step. It wasn't treated like a stepping stone. You know the way the IC is the workers belt, and then you win that, and then you can go on to the world title. You know, like Ultimate Warrior can face Hogan because he's IC. The X Division wasn't.
You've used that reference a lot over the years. That's been dated about 15 years. It's the workers belt. Not think so though.
No, but I'm just saying.
I say it 2008 anymore.
No, but I mean, I don't think the X Division belt was never really. Oh, we'll give you a run with this, and then if you do well, maybe one day you'll get a world title run. That was never... The X Division belt didn't really work like that.
Did it not, buddy?
I don't think so. Nowadays, it's a glorified cruiserweight title, but back then it was just a random belt for people to fight over. I don't know. Anyway, AJ Styles wins. Kazarian comes out, looks at him, holds up the belt. AJ Styles points at the belt. The commentators promote that we will get the title match this week, Wednesday night on pay-per-view as the show goes off the air. They didn't specify how much we need to pay, but if you want to see AJ Styles whoop Kazarian's ass to win the X Division title, you're going to have to pay money. I'm assuming.
Live on the paper bag, the brown paper bag. I'm giving this show a 5.
Before I give my rating, could you imagine the difficulty in 2004 living in the UK and trying to order this?
Fuck, I know.
I highly doubt you phoned up Sky Box Office and they're like, TNA, what's that? I mean,
what type of virus you download to your telecom?
It'd be like Ric Flair, TNA. What's TNA?
Literally though, boy, you getting it? I'm getting a 5.
You know what? I'm tempted to agree. I'll get a 5 or so. I mean, I like the fact that it's only an hour show, so it works at about 40 or 45 minutes. The matches weren't overly long, I enjoyed that as well. You got 4 matches in there. I would have liked to have seen more backstage stuff or an extra promo. I thought the promo we did get was really good. I enjoyed it. And we got a tag title match and number 1 contender. I'll get a 6.
5.5 out of 10.
5.5 out of 10. No bad, but hopefully we can improve on it next week. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the pay-per-view, I guess. Now we need to go and
can't wait.
Get into the bank of Gaming Jesus here and see if we can muster up some pay-per-views here.
Let's go. Well, they cost extra money?
Right.
Do they?
Yep.
That's part of the $7.99.
Is it?
Fucking better be.
Well, the
Bank's closed.
the ads part of the
TNA's
$7.99 as
full. We're
well.
going to Global Force Wrestling.
Right, guys, we will milk the shit out of this. We're paying $7.99 a month for TNA Impact Plus. So yeah, any Impact show that is on this network, you'll see it on this channel. That's it though. We're going at a 5.5. Till next time, we've been Fog Wrestling. Thanks for watching, and of course, peace.